Good afternoon, everybody. I thought I'd do a video today and talk about what I've done here in my little animation studio. The building that I'm sitting in currently, it used to be my wood shop. I used to do a lot of small woodworking projects in this room, and I got out of that temporarily, and I decided when I got back into doing stop motion animation that I would convert this building for that. The little room that I'm sitting in right now is 8 feet this way and 10 feet going this way. So it's not a very big room. It might look big on the camera. It's because I've got it set up at a wider angle. But what I've done is I've moved things around. I had my animation table sitting probably dead center of the room, and I had it sitting approximately 5 feet away from my blue screen, because I know I've said this before, I use a blue screen in a lot of my videos because of the amount of Legos that I don't have, and it does help me and save some time. But here recently I ran into an issue, and I made a post on there on the community page about it, but I didn't fully disclose what happened. About a month ago, one of my lights, I have one here beside me, and these are just cheap lights for a lighting kit that you can get on eBay and Amazon. They're all over the place. And my wife got these for me for Christmas, and I've been using them. They've done quite well. But the little cheap fixture on one of them, I was out here animating one evening, and the fixture popped. It didn't explode or let out any smoke or anything like that, but something inside of the fixture popped, and what I think happened was one of the solder joints or something just burned clean in two. So I've still got the fixture out in my other building. I need to take that apart and look at it. And when I do, I might actually shoot a video on that to show how to fix that. Moving on, I had to create some room in this tiny little building, and I'm going to get up here in just a second and show you what I've done. You can probably see them behind me. I can't tell because I'm sitting about, I don't know, maybe 10 feet away from the camera, but I moved my soft boxes up on the wall, and that allowed me the walk space, because to be totally honest, with the table sitting in the middle of the room, it's been very hard to keep this room clean, and I drop a lot of things, unfortunately, and it usually falls in behind my table. And when I had all these fixtures and stuff on their stands, I could not get back here without getting on my hands and knees and crawling like a baby. And to be totally honest, I'm just too old to be doing that. And I need to get back here anyway because I got to maintain this screen. I ironed it out here a while back with a steam iron, and I've got a little bit more ironing I got to do on it. The temperature change here recently has caused the fabric to wrinkle a little bit, and that causes issues as well. But the main thing that happened was when I lost that light fixture, because I was illuminating my blue screen with 4 lights. And when that fixture went out, I thought, well, maybe I can still pull the key. And I found out the hard way, no, I can't. I've posted some things on the community page, mostly about this film that I'm working on. The film that I'm working on a little samurai film. It only has 4 or 5 characters in it. It's going to be at least 15 minutes long. And I hope that's not too long, but it's going to be more or less a short film by the time I get finished with it. It's broken up into 6 acts, and each of those acts range anywhere from 1.5 minutes to 3 minutes each. So it might actually be upwards of maybe 20 minutes. I'll find out more about that when I get everything finished and completely edited. That being said, I'm going to try to finish the film with this new setup. There are some things that were written in the script that are going to require the blue screen. And I can't really disclose what those are because it'll be giving a lot of stuff away. But there's still a few scenes that are going to require it. And so I'm going to do my best. I have other ways of lighting this screen up And so I'm going to use this for those scenes specifically, but from here on in, I'm going to try to shoot every animation, even the little silly shorts and other little animations that I'll do from time to time. They're all going to be done in a different manner. And Apex Stop Motion, yes, I saw your comment, and I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to respond to it. I've been pretty busy, but your idea about the printing photos or landscapes for the background, it's funny you should say that, because I actually own an engraving business and a printing business. My wife and I own it together, and so she and I need to talk and see what all that's going to entail. And of course, you know, even though we own it, I'm still going to figure in the cost, because I don't want to lose money. I've got my hands full over here. I've got this little recorder. I'm trying to do better with my sound, and I'm running tests on this as well. The video is being shot with a very old very old HD camcorder. So if it looks like this video was shot with a potato, that would be why. So I don't really know what else to say about any of this. I'm just going to pick the camera up or move it around and show you what I've got. So first I want to talk about what I did with my softboxes. What I did is I cut a couple of 2x4s down to a foot in length, and then I cut a 1/2-inch dowel rod that was made out of a hardwood, and I cut it to 3.5 inches. That allowed me to have enough room to mount my light fixtures to these boards and to secure everything. I think I'm going to like this. I'll know more about it once I get to run some tests with it. I'm going to have to wait on a friend of mine to show up. What I've done, and excuse the mess, I'm still moving things around. My desk lamps, I had them on their little sand-filled pedestals that they came on, but they also came with these little brackets that could mount to the edge of the table. And originally I didn't want to use those because I didn't want to secure them to the table. But I got to looking at them earlier, and I noticed that they had little holes in them for mounting to a wall. So what I've done is I've mounted my lights, or my desk lamps, directly to my wall. And right there, that's where I had cut a dividing wall out. Like I said, this used to be a shop. And then my other one is mounted directly to this post here. I think I'm going to really like that. That's going to give me a lot more control over my lighting until I've got an idea for a project that I'm going to do with these as well. I'm going to build a little frame for them. And once I figure out how to mount these to the fixtures and everything, I might do a video on that. But I want to be able to soften this light when it's necessary. So for right now, this will give me that option as far as pulling the lights further away from the set to kind of disperse the light a little better and not have it so focused with a hard light on the minifigures. But you're going to see that in the film. I've been struggling with that. And this is my little setup that I've got going on. I really like this tripod. This is one of those tripods. It's a travel tripod. It's very, very light, very compact when you break it down. But this one in particular is more or less designed for macro photography. It allows you to pull your focus point. And of course this rod, it slides in and out of that little fixture there. And it's amazing. I love this tripod. There's only one thing I don't like about it, which is very minor because it's more my fault than it is the tripod's fault, is this sticks out quite a bit, and not paying any attention, it's easy to bump into and can really wreak havoc on a project. And I'm still trying to clean up in here, but this right here is a mistake. In hindsight, I wished I hadn't have done this. These are these foam gym mats or workout mats that interlock together. And they're very cheap. That's why I did this. But the tripod, whenever I take a shot, I have to make sure that I'm 100% settled where I'm going to be before I click that shutter. Because if I click the shutter while I'm moving around, or just one little baby step, it can cause things to move. And this is the camera that I use. I use a Canon T6. I've had this camera for about 6 years now, I think. And all of the animations so far I have shot strictly with the kit lens. It's an 18 to 55 millimeter kit lens. And I'm using a very cheap macro adapter on the front to get in real close. And there's not really much special about this camera. It's just a DSLR camera. It's an entry-level camera. Probably pretty cheap by now. And it's 18 megapixels, which is good enough for doing this type of work. These are the minifigures that I'll be using in this little brick film that I keep talking about and posting about. I have 2 Ronins here, but there will only be 1 Ronin in the little video. Of course, this other one, he's laying on his side over here by himself. Moving on, I got my photography camera laying on the table. I've used this camera quite a bit in conjunction with stop motion. This camera will never be used for stop motion animation. And reason being is because of how much it costs. And I want to keep the shutter alive as long as I can. Because using a DSLR camera with a mechanical shutter, over time, this camera here is going to break and I'm going to have to buy a new camera body. And so I'm preparing for that actually as we speak. And here's my script. And this is pretty much how I storyboard. I don't really spend a lot of time drawing. In some cases I do, because I have a sheet here that's got a few frames drawn out roughly. But normally all I do is I just write notes. We've already recorded our dialogue for this, and so I write notes on the script and I keep this with me when I'm animating. And that way I'll know what I decided on, where I should put the camera, how the characters should act with one another, when am I going to do a face swap, and whatnot. For the time being, this is how I do things. And all I'm going to be doing until I can figure out what I'm going to do with the printed images. I've got a big poster board here on the wall. It's just leaned up right now. And the first video I'm going to test with this, I've actually got a little Halloween comedy skit I'm going to be doing. And I hope to get that posted before Halloween. I actually have an idea for 2, but as everybody knows, stop motion animation takes a great deal of time. So I figure why not, while I've got this going, I'm not done cleaning in this building, but every Lego that I have accessible to me is on this table. Right now it's a big jumbled mess because I'm in the middle of cleaning this building. There's the set for the second half of the 3rd act in the film. And just a few kits that my wife and I put together. And over here, minifigures and just random stuff just sitting on the shelf. I do like having this in here. Having a dry erase board, for me at least, it helps me to create my shot lists. Originally this was over my laptop and I was going to move it over the laptop on the other side, but I don't think I want to do that. Which is not a big deal because the room's so small, all I got to do is just turn around and write on it or turn around and look at it. But my shot lists of things that I think that I need, I'll write on here, or if I'm in the middle of animating something and I get called away, then I can write a quick note on this and this will tell me where I left off at. So anyway, this is my little animation studio, and it's a work in progress. I've got a lot of stuff that I want to do still, and so for right now, this is where I shoot everything. I hope that you like this video. I hope maybe you got an idea or two on something, or who knows. But as soon as I get the opportunity, I'm going to post another animation here pretty soon. Because like I said, I've got this little comedy skit I want to do before Halloween hits. Anyway, folks, I'm going to sign off of here. I've got to get back to this. And I will see you guys later.